Today we're looking at Section 4, Victory in Europe and the Pacific as far as the Allied war effort for World War II. As always, we'll start with our terms. VE Day. Go ahead, sir.
Victory in Europe. This is when the Germans finally surrendered.
Excellent. The Bataan Death March. Go ahead.
During World War II, the forced march of the Filipino or American prisoners of war under brutal conditions by the Japanese military.
Good. And it's always to distinguish as far as which military is doing what, because obviously, you know, all aspects of the Nazi powers, the Axis powers, are aggressive and heinous in nature, but it is good to know geographically where you guys are. Okay. Douglas MacArthur. Go ahead.
U.S. General in the Pacific.
Very good. We're going to go ahead and underline Pacific because that's a big idea here, distinguishing which theater we are involved with. Island hopping. Go ahead.
Allied strategy of recapturing some Japanese held islands while bypassing the others.
Excellent, excellent. And you can also bring in the point that this starts at the victory at Guadalcanal, because you do always want to try to support your answers with some kind of a distinct and exact piece of evidence. So that being said, it starts at Guadalcanal. Now they're going to bypass others on their way to mainland Japan, which is the big idea there. We can't just go ahead and attack mainland Japan. Obviously, the ocean is expansive. We need to work our way there. Kamikaze. Go ahead.
Japanese pilot who undertook a suicide mission.
Very good. Okay, now this could either be that the plane was loaded with explosives or in the mindset that the plane itself is an explosive, if you want to consider that. And you guys can see that, an example of that in that Pearl Harbor attack scene as well. Manhattan Project. Go ahead, sir.
Code name for the project to build the first atomic bomb during World War II.
Very good, very good. Harness the atom to develop an atomic bomb. And again, that first drop occurs in Alamogordo, New Mexico. So if you're ever challenged as far as where the first atomic bomb was dropped, it was not Hiroshima. It was in the United States as a test site. Okay? Hiroshima. Go ahead, sir.
First atomic bomb went off in this Japanese city.
Very, very good. Killing roughly 70,000 people in a single detonation. Okay? That would be the city of Adrian 3.5 times over.
Oh, my Atlanta.
Almost the entire city of Ann Arbor. If you want to put numbers and visualize the devastational impact of this. Okay? Nagasaki. Go ahead, sir.
The second atomic bomb went off in this Japanese city.
Very, very good. Okay. You're going to give us some dates here. August 6th, 1945, August 8th, 1945, roughly 40,000 people. And this will result with the surrender of the Empire of Japan. So make sure you have that in addition to your definition. The big idea with this is this did formally cause the surrender of the Empire of Japan. Any questions?
No.
Excellent. Nazis defeated, struggle for the Pacific. What was the Allies' objective with the island hopping campaign? Go ahead.
Was to some Japanese held islands while bypassing others.
Very good. And with this process here, the ultimate goal here, to create these militaristic stepping stones towards the mainland of Japan. Now, geographically speaking, a full-scale military invasion is not going to work. Thus, we need to work our way there. And this is an exceptionally strong Navy specifically, but Army as well. How did location play into Germany's defeat? Go ahead.
They were surrounded by their enemies from the south, east, and west.
Very good. Three-front war. Now, with this, from the south, you have the invasion from Italy. The west, the U.S. forces from France. And where is the east coming from? What country?
USSR.
USSR, very good. Okay, that's how you guys can see geographically, visually, how this is working. How did the Allies combine ground, naval, and air power to chip away at Japanese defenses? Go ahead.
The Japanese were not able to rally together to fight back before their supplies were destroyed.
Good. So specifically breaking this up, ground troops utilized in the island hopping campaigns. The Navy is going to blockade Japan, which means what? To blockade a country.
Stop imports and exports.
To suffocate them with their imports and exports. Very good. You're basically going to surround them, similar to what the United States did utilizing the Anaconda Plan in the Civil War with the Confederate States of America. Same theory here. If you can get them to suffocate economically without even having to fight, you will save thousands of lives. Air-powered bomb Japanese cities and industries. Now, we're going to have down here RTF, which means what again? We covered this yesterday. You guys remember? Resource, transportation, and
Fuel.
fuel. Very good. And this is going to be something you're going to have. Keep that in your mind. Resources, transportation, fuel. If you can get rid of this, as far as when you're waging war against a country, even if they're stronger than yours, you tend to be more successful. Excellent job. Defeat for Japan. What behavior did the Japanese fighters show in the battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa in the air? Ms. Kersey?
They would fight to the death rather than surrender.
Very good. Willingness to fight to the very death. And that you can put in there kamikaze as well. Because that's what we're describing. Okay? That memorial, the iconic memorial that is in Washington, D.C., surrounds the Battle of Iwo Jima. As far as the soldiers hoisting the American flag. If you ever get a chance to go there, it's an excellent monument to the whole war, but that conflict specifically. And we do get to go there as far as the government trip your junior year. How do you think this behavior affected decision to use the atomic bomb? Go ahead.
It encouraged the U.S. to use it because of the massive threat Japan posed.
Very good. It's concerning because we know if we try to utilize a full-scale invasion of invading mainland Japan, that these people will not stop at all. Surrender is probably not going to be in their vocabulary. So we need to try to utilize something that's going to essentially one-up them or basically cause them to surrender without, or the goal was, with Truman's warnings, to get them to surrender before that was even needed. Why did the Americans drop the second atomic bomb? Go ahead.
Lack of response from Japanese leaders about the war declaration.
Very good. So we dropped the first one and there's no surrender. 2 days pass. Thus, it needs to happen. In the mindset of the American military. We also have this going on as well. So we have the first atomic bomb has been detonated. Soviets are invading Manchuria, yet there is no surrender. So finally, President Truman, as well as the military advisors, decide to send this absolute resolve in their mindset. Now, the big thing I want you guys to know here, this is primary footage. The footage that you're watching is from the actual planes during this time. Okay? These are called flying fortresses because they're able to carry such a heavy cargo load of bombs.
The Enola Gay, with Colonel Paul Tibbets at the controls, was about to drop the first atomic bomb, a weapon conceived by a group of international scientists based at Los Alamos in the United States. So far, no one knew exactly what effect the bomb would have, either on the unsuspecting inhabitants below or on the crew of the plane itself. They were soon to find out.
The bomb went off, the whole inside of the airplane just lit up as if someone had set off a flashbulb. And then we had to wait. This was our big worry, is what would the blast do when the blast got to the airplane? And finally the blast did arrive. It was like being in an ash can and getting someone kicking. And then we crowded to the window and saw just the whole city completely covered in smoke with this very tall mushroom cloud rising from it.
President Truman had already threatened the Japanese with a rain of ruin from the air, the like of which has never been seen on this earth. When the truth was revealed, his words seemed an understatement.
The big component with these bombs is its heat that literally will vaporize anything within its reaches. Okay? Like you remember from the book we read earlier in the year Hiroshima, how people's eyes were melted out of their face. Okay? This is devastational technology. And many people would argue, the United States humanistically should have never have dropped
Buildings
this.
vaporized, so did the clothes on people's backs. Was it a bomb that should never have been dropped? Some people thought so. Others argued that it shortened the war and kept the subsequent
That's patchwork
peace.
burning from
One
your
thing
clothes.
was not in doubt. Hiroshima taught mankind the awful truth about nuclear weapons and just what horror they could bestow.
And just, like I said, consider that's 70,000 people in a single bomb. Okay? Big time stuff. I didn't animate it. A lot of people said that we should never have dropped that, but at the same time, the argument was, well, we tried to warn them and they didn't listen. Okay? We'll go through our objectives first. Describe the reasons for the final defeat of the Nazis. Go ahead.
Okay, multiple front war in Europe, the Americans from the west, Italy from the south, and the USSR from the east. Hitler made poor military decisions, and German production halted.
Very good. We'll go through the next objective, then I'll put all three up here at the end. Next objective. Summarize how the Allies began to push back the Japanese in the Pacific. Go ahead, Mr. Newman.
The Midway and the Coral Sea acquired Guadalcanal.
Guadalcanal.
Island hopping pushed back Japanese. They held islands. Douglas MacArthur led Americans towards Japan. The American bombers pounded Japanese cities.
Perfect. And the final objective, explain the American strategy for ending the war against Japan and the consequences of that strategy. Go ahead.
The American plane dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima. It flattened 4 square miles and instantly killed more than 70,000 people. Also, people died from radiation sickness. The island hopping campaign was a goal to recapture some Japan-held islands while bypassing others.
Excellent. And we'll work our way backwards. Okay, so the ground invasion is impossible. We know this is the geography and population. What you guys got to understand here is the population of Japan is much more concentrated. So you'd be analyzing people per square mile. Okay, you could have 1,000 people in 2 square miles versus 1,000 people across 10 square miles. Many more people in that 1 square mile. All right, so ground invasion impossible due to geography and population. Drop atomic bombs at Hiroshima and Nagasaki after repeated warnings from Truman. So you can see here with the underlining how you're getting to your points. Nuclear devastation resulted. Some people died of poisoning months after this occurred. Poisoning from the nuclear residue left behind. Later, others would become marred with many other health-related issues. Now, for example, this could include several illnesses that can result of nuclear poisoning. This also could result in men and women becoming sterile, meaning they're unable to bear children, bear life, right, because of this bomb. Second objective, summarize how the Allies began to push back. Just as the student said, island hopping campaign. That's the big idea there. Now, just like we did yesterday with our objective, we provide evidence. We have an idea and examples. So make sure that you guys get those in. So you can see your 5 points, island hopping, plus the 4 examples. Okay? Describe the reasons for the final defeat of the Nazis. Just as we said before, you got to kind of separate this war into 2 theaters. We have Europe as your first one, and Pacific as your second. Nazis surrounded by enemies. Just as the student provided, we have several things going on directionally speaking, south, east, and west, with the accompanying nations involved there as well. The Japanese component, island hopping campaign, successful, very successful. MacArthur is doing a great job as the admiral of the forces in the Pacific. Naval blockade, we're getting rid of the RTF campaign there without even attacking. And then we also have that going on the mainland as well. Those flying fortresses from your aircraft carriers. Okay? Any questions? Great job, everyone.